Welcome to the Adam Friedland Show. Today is May 31st, 2024. It's crazy. 20s. The crazy 20s.
The 2020s.
Yeah, the 2020s. Time really just flies by.
We're almost at the end of it.
Of time?
Well,
yeah.
Well, at the end of our time.
I guess it's like if it's funny because it's like if the world collapsed, because it feels like it might, but it always feels that way. It always feels like something. But if this time it does happen, because there's a lot of things, and normally I wouldn't engage in this, but you know we got you on here,
right.
So we'll talk. We'll declare things about the world.
Well, you must.
We're losing. So Russia's going to win Ukraine.
We are losing.
Russia's going to win Ukraine. We're pretending now that he's offering the ceasefire because he's weak. It's like, no, he's just going to take it. He's going to cause.
Yeah, they've won. They've kind of already
won. This is a favor to us, and now he's allowing us to save face by saying, like, oh, well, Putin's weak. That's why he's offering a ceasefire where we freeze the lines where
he's
they are.
He's weak because we took McDonald's away.
Yeah, right. We carved out,
we took Burger King out.
He's bitten off a lot of Ukraine. He'll probably invade Poland at some point, and he wins. But then the big thing is, like, Bashar al-Assad is now like he's like people see him at the same level that they have disdain for Walter White from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
You know, he's not like the media, everybody, the Western world failed to sell Assad that's just Russia's guy.
Yeah.
And the regime change failed, and you never hear anybody talk about that, but like that's the biggest thing in the Middle East is Russia won that one.
They won.
They won the Middle East.
They've been racking up wins, but we've been getting better at the marketing of losses.
Right.
So that's what we've been doing. We've kind of been like, no, it's actually, it's a stalemate. We call things a stalemate all the time. And it's a stalemate. It's really not a stalemate.
The other secret war, also probably Russia behind it, is they've used gay African people to take over international law. So now that's all they control it.
And by the way, smart. This was the smartest thing they could have done.
Right. So there's a cannon filled with bananas pointed at Netanyahu right now that was designed by Putin secretly 12 years ago. But no, I think that Trump got convicted just so we can save face when Netanyahu is arrested by the ICC. But you can say, well, he's kind of like, you know, we put Trump in jail. He's there. Trump. Everybody gets arrested. They get arrested. That is not indicative.
We get arrested.
That is not indicative.
Doesn't mean anything.
It's just fine. Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't mean anything. People have strong feelings about people, so they have to arrest them.
I guess that's all to say. It's like because it feels like because you've had in the last 5 years you've had a lot of success. You're doing, you're
doing okay, sure.
And a lot of people in our social circle are.
Yes.
And when things collapse, are you guys just going to turn into like Gloria Swanson, basically, just like kind of these silent film?
Here's what I will say.
Because our podcast,
outside of me, no one in our social circle knows who that is. So
I just
ask that question.
I imagine Shane in a mansion with just like a heavy makeup, and a beauty mark, and the little like breast cancer set. And,
I mean, that's the hope.
And he's like, I'm still big. It's the pictures that got small. And nobody's listening to podcasts anymore. But he still has all of his Bud Light millions.
I hope at that point I'm like, in Brighton Beach.
I invested in beer. I made all my money in beer. Back in the day, I was the biggest in the world of stand-up comedy and podcasting, and the entertainment then is reading the Quran, I would imagine. Is when we have no choice but to embrace Sharia law. I hope to be like
living as, kind of like an exiled oligarch in Brighton Beach at that point. Just kind of eating, fried fish, sitting down by the pier. And then just like being that guy that when you get near him, he just starts going.
My career track, what I want is I kind of want to take the Jerry Lewis route. So here I'm just laughing stock, racist, buffoon, comedian, makes garbage, pretends to be a mentally disabled person for cheap laughs. And then I don't know what for, but after this, I want to go be revered by the French. And I don't know if that's maybe just being Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, and by the way, it would be incredibly easy for you.
I could just go over there and be an anti-Semitic version of Chuck E. Cheese.
Do very much similar what you do now with a little style, like a little more stylistic.
The anti-Semitic mime, I guess, is what I'll be. And then they'll be like, oh, this is the greatest art we have ever seen. Here's an autist.
Yeah, no, you have to be like kind of like an anti-Semitic, like Harlequin clown.
Yeah, right.
And just sneak it in.
Yeah, it's funny because people don't realize like JFL had this reputation of being like the premier comedy festival.
Yeah.
But a good 50 to 60% of JFL was just that. It was like mimes and clowns. It was francophone clowns.
It was like Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, right. Doing tightrope stuff, and they blew all this money on all this French bullshit.
And then 10% of it was like us.
Right. Is somehow they would trick comedians, American comedians, into coming there for no pay.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they never mixed. Those two sides of JFL never mixed. It was always very segregated.
Right.
Like there was never like a clown bringing up Bobby Kelly.
They should have done.
They should have done.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
Just a high wire act.
And then fucking Bobby comes out. Just like, yeah, right. Yeah. Bobby trying to talk that guy backstage. He's like, "What's your fucking problem?" J'en peux le couper pour qu'on va waka. Ne peux pas wampo. Just smell. You can see stink lines coming off of him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No shoes on. He's got hobbit feet.
How do they live? Do they live as circus, as like a...
What, the French Canadian peasants?
Yeah, like how do they live? Do they live as a troupe?
Yeah, I saw a lady in Montreal walking a pig when I was there.
Because you'll see them on the streets walking around. You go, do you all live in it communally?
Yeah.
I imagine they must.
Yeah, I think so.
They don't have like there's no version of that guy who's like touring a house and going, let's buy this and live.
It's like they have like hostels.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of...
Yeah, because I think it would be...
It's the way circus is. It's just what it is.
It's expensive there, right?
It's very expensive.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the timer here that tells me when we have to do our ad reads, but I'm... Oh, okay. You can just shout it out then. I get... what's that? Just shout at me because I switched to the Snoopy watch face and it makes it very difficult to use the Apple Watch for anything other than looking at Snoopy doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that so? That's the Apple Watch.
This is the last expensive thing I'll be able to purchase before the fall.
Yeah, so I want one because it now tells you like when you're dying. It gives you like an update. They've
always had that. They have
like that feature that tells you like when it's over.
Yeah, they keep adding more.
Yeah,
stuff.
like there's more health stuff. I go, who needs?
It can diagnose AFib, which seems like too severe of a medical issue. But maybe we start off with tell me if I have a cold.
Right.
Like I don't know if you want me to be
arterial fibrillation.
I don't know if I want Snoopy telling me I'm dying of congestive heart failure.
Well, it's also a lot of us are almost dying. Not a lot of us, but I'll say a lot of people in our group are probably almost dying a lot. Mm-hmm. So why would we need to know all the time?
It's so funny because like comedians embrace being unhealthy. You spend your entire 20s being like, I'm killing myself.
Yeah.
And then if you manage to get like find success in your 30s or 40s,
then you want to live.
And then they're like, I want to live. And then
too late.
They're like, should I go to the dentist? And it's like, you have $800 million.
Yeah.
Get a robot body.
Well, that's the next step.
Yeah.
Is to get a robot body.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real, when you talk about the fall, where are we going to end up? It's not so much we'll be locked alone in mansions. We'll all just have robot bodies.
Yeah.
And we'll just, come out on a tour.
I still think it's going to be a Gloria Swanson thing.
Yeah. Just locked up.
I see, just in a mansion.
I hope.
Dead monkey in a cradle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Screaming at the people that have come up.
Yeah. What's going to be the next? Who's going to in 10 years? What's going to be the thing? Because something's got to replace all this. It's got to get stale. The economy. Now that like the podcast guys, the guys that operated on the fringe, and then they built up fan bases. They're now being ingested into the mainstream, right?
Yeah.
It's like once that ends, what's the next route up?
Good question.
Funny answers only.
Yeah.
Yeah. Naturally.
Violence?
Well, violence. I was going to say French Canadian street performance.
Yeah, there's always that.
Yeah.
But I mean violence, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
it's going to be guys sitting around the cellar being like, "Yeah, I got my doo-doo juggling act going.
Yeah.
I'm out on the street juggling doo-doo. I smell like shit."
Yeah.
And it's like, I think this might be the move.
Well, isn't everything a circle?
Worked for all those French
Won't it
guys.
go back to what it was? And I don't know what it was.
Silent films.
Something like that.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it'll be silent film.
Yeah.
That would be brilliant.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I made a silent film.
Did you really?
Yeah. It was a ballet. It was silence.
Okay.
It was scored. There was no dialogue in it. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It might go back to Or it might just go to something so crazy that, you know. I think it goes to like where we're all just like we work for like we pick a corporation and we're just their entertainer.
I think
we become the entertainer.
The only thing left is some sort of like neo-feudal. We're gonna have to have a king, and it'll probably be some sort of religious king. I don't know if it will live in a caliphate. They don't really seem like they're winning, I guess.
I don't think caliphate will happen in our time, but probably I could certainly see
probably a Mormon king is where we're
some
headed.
Type of Mormon king, like a clean cut, kind of in shape.
He's like a Mitt Romney king.
Mitt Romney king.
But it would be like Mitt Romney's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Mitt Romney would be the queen.
It would be a gay Mormon king.
Be a
gay Mormon king.
If I had to bet on the future of the country.
Looking at everything the way it's moving. Kind of a gay Mormon king, Apple Watch.
Yeah, right.
Tech savvy.
Yeah, right.
You know, smart.
Yeah.
Proficient at several different sports.
Yeah.
We watch him play them.
Right, an MMA style gay Mormon.
Yeah, he fought in MMA. He's gay.
And anyone can be the king if you can beat him at tickle fighting.
Yes, and good luck.
Yeah, right.
Good luck.
This guy's the master.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Rogan will never die. I know that. I know no matter what happens, Rogan will be the constant.
Wouldn't it be crazy if he just dropped dead tomorrow? What kind of shock that would do? It would be
shocking to a lot of people. It might usher in like a level of debauchery, like all these guys who are like going to the gym and like eating, you know, whatever they're eating. I mean, you might just see like all of these guys just eating cake, becoming fat, becoming like feminine and fat.
Yeah.
Like imagine all these UFC guys kind of running the other way, all these bro guys. The guys that go out for, as the stupid New York Times called it, bro makasi. Like
Wait, what is this?
They're just trying to say now that like Rogan's made sushi a masculine meal, which it's always been. It's always been.
Yeah.
It's never been like, no one's ever been like, I'm going to have sushi and somebody goes, what are you?
Is that a Rogan thing? Is sushi?
Well, he loves this sushi place that he's made really popular.
But everybody
awesome.
Likes sushi. I mean,
I know, but they keep. This is what the New York Times has written this article now where they're like, men are eating sushi together. What? It's retarded.
He's probably worn shirts more than
sushi,
of course. And it's like, well,
they're trying everything they try to do is to try to make it like a problem.
There's only like 10 types of food.
No,
that you can have and go out and have, and sushi's one of the 10.
But it's like it's the new article is called Bro Makasi, and they're like, men are embracing sushi.
Is that a Japanese word? Is that a pun?
Yeah, it's a pun. They're like, it used to. Omakase obviously is sushi, but they're like, it used to be steakhouses. Now, if you want to close deals or go out with your bros, it's sushi. So I think if he died tomorrow, you might see a lot of people just become like fat and gay.
Yeah. I feel like people would react to it like more like a, you know, like a building had collapsed rather than a person had died.
Yeah, well, it would be 9/11 again. Like there would be no explanation that would suffice.
There would be no culprit.
There'd be no, but there would on the internet.
Yeah,
there would be a discussion.
You ever think about how like there has to be an alternate universe where 9/11 was just an accident?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like it was just like those two pilots got drunk together at fucking Applebee's at LaGuardia.
Yeah.
And then fucking they're like, dude, I'll see you next week, dude. And then both of them happened to just fucking cause the biggest accident of all time.
That is the best explanation for what I've heard.
Yeah.
Is it's just drunk guys that got fucked up at Chili's.
It would be even worse if it's just first it's like, at United Airlines announces the hiring of the first 2 black female pilots. And that's just, you know, imagine that universe.
Yeah. And that's the beginning. That's the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would be
Mike Judge's wokeocracy. What if 9/11 was due to
2 black female pilots that got fucked up?
That was kind of a thing online, like a year ago, wasn't it?
It was black female pilots?
No, it was people saying if I go on a plane and there's a black pilot, I'll turn right around.
Oh, interesting.
And then do what? Spend another $500 on a plane ticket?
Yeah. By the way, nobody. The funniest thing about air travel is that's always a lie.
What are you worried that's going to happen? Is he's going to land the plane backwards?
It's also like, what are you going to? You're going to rent a car?
Yeah, right.
You're going to rent a car? The worst thing that you can ever do?
Yeah.
There's nothing worse in our society than renting a car. It basically is like you're the biggest loser that's ever lived, and then you're going to drive 8 hours. I'd rather die.
I hate every time because I rent cars.
Yeah.
When I go on the road.
Terrible.
It saves money over
of course, but it's
Uber.
terrible.
Right. Every time I get the Challenger upgrade and they treat me like I am Sam. Yeah. Like they're letting me keep my daughter.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
It's just fine. Like, do you
Yeah.
want to drive the race car?
Yeah.
But just give me a car. I'm fine with the Nissan Altima.
I haven't had a physical license in years, and I have, who's ever with me, like the opener, will rent the car if we do. And
but you have a car, don't you?
I have 2 cars. You can buy cars without a license. I have a license. I just don't have it on me, and I think it's suspended. But you can just buy cars. No, they don't really care. You just show them. You go, see, it's a license.
You know what I want to buy is one of those things that lets you make your own guns at home.
3D printer.
Yeah, but there's 3D printers that are just for guns.
Oh, yeah. No, you can do that.
Yeah. Because it seems like that would get you in trouble, but the kind where they just show up at your house all the time.
Well, they just keep coming, and it's kind of nice.
And that seems like, we talk about what's the path forward.
Yeah.
For me, I think it might be recording a bunch of visits from Department of Homeland
The podcast
Security.
might just become casual conversations with the FBI.
Yeah, with DHS. Just a guy with a woman with a clipboard.
Yeah, and they just come in and they kind of know. They're like, hello.
Yeah. I'm
just checking them.
Yeah, so what do you think?
And it's your right to record them, I think.
It is.
It actually is your right to record them.
Yeah. And
that's not a bad podcast idea.
We got to establish that at the beginning every time.
Yeah, that's not a bad podcast idea.
There's a guy on Twitter I saw that does that. He's like, so now it's funny because of what's
So what does he tweet? Like, I'm going to kill the president?
No,
he just gets the equipment ready?
He's at war with the Jewish. What's that? Oh, okay. Yeah, so maybe I'll just say this and then we'll go right back to it rather. Before I start talking about this guy. So today's episode is brought to you by Twillery. Have you heard of Twillery?
I've not.
Well, you're about to. It is Twillery wants to complete every man's wardrobe with comfortable, quality garments that are as easy on the wallet as they are easy to care for. Now,
well, thank you.
That's my problem, is that my clothes are impossible to wash because they're all made out of very individually selected Chinese silk threads.
So these are easy to wash.
This is easy to wash.
Well, that's good.
Because I'm constantly soiling myself.
Right.
And Twillery is the solution to that. Easy, fun clothes for guys, ladies and gentlemen. They had staples like dress shirts, slacks, shorts, polos, loungewear, and jeans made with top performance fabrics for easy wear and a great fit. Perfect for Father's Day, which is coming up. You got a father? Is he nude? Not anymore. Go to Twillery, and you can put some clothes on him. All their products have plenty of stretch to keep you comfortable, and they won't wrinkle. So no need to go to the dry cleaner either, since all the items are machine washable. They don't sell clothes that you ever have to go to the dry cleaner for. Dangerous chemicals. That's a horrible thing to do to yourself.
You get a rash, all that.
And as bad for the people should not have to work in those conditions. It's not a job.
But many of them seem to like it.
They like the chemicals. They get high off the chemicals.
They do seem to kind of.
Yeah. But
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, that's not. Right now we're about saving you money and time. The difficult time it takes to wash your clothes. Now you don't have to worry about that with Twillery. It's basically a full body diaper for adults.
That's you can't get better.
You just wash it all off. You can completely. I dare you, go to Twillery, buy the clothes.
Right.
Try to soil them in a way where it's not easy to just completely clean yourself. And since all the items are machine washable, and they just launched a new air line, including air suits that are designed to keep you cool and comfortable. Heard of the Emperor's New Clothes? Well, now...
I thought you meant they launched an airline like they're flying people around. I was like, that's amazing that they've been able to do well enough to compete against United.
Air suits, which are suits designed for dunking, I can only imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Is that they're air suits that are designed to keep you cool and comfortable. They're breezy, breathable suits.
Right.
If you're a southern gentleman, perhaps, you're strolling your property, remarking on all of the fine, cheap labor you've accumulated over the years. You could really feel perfectly comfortable in the airline air suits.
You'll feel cool.
That Twillery, it just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? I can't. I feel so cool in my Twillery air suit.
It's just Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, but I can't. Yeah, Kevin Spacey. Excuse me. Can you clean the boy off my Twillery air suit? I seem to have had a violent evening. I had a violent
episode
indulgence in my most let's say disgusting vices. Anyways, none of that. They just launched a new airline, including air suits that are designed to keep you cool, comfortable, and breezy. Everybody hates being hot, and that's my thing. Is I'm worried about skin cancer now all the time. I go to the.
That's a good worry.
I walk through the park and I see everybody sunbathing, and I'm just like, cancer.
They're all going to get skin cancer.
They're all going to get skin cancer.
That's what I say. It's good when you find really hot people.
Yeah.
With their shirts off.
Yeah.
By the pool. And you go, it's all fun now.
And I'm there wearing the biggest hat you've ever seen.
Yeah, I go, my Aunt Mary died of melanoma at 33, which is true.
I'm leaving. I'm in my apartment all day long. I leave to buy cigarettes.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're all going to get skin cancer.
Yeah.
Just covered in
Well, you got to be careful because it is out there.
Yeah, right. And so that's why I like Twillery. Is it keeps me covered, but I'm not sweating.
Right.
Because that's the other thing that'll give you skin cancer.
Is sweating?
I don't know.
Oh.
I would imagine it's probably good for you. I go to the sauna.
I actually think it's good.
I know. I go to the sauna all the time to detox.
No, okay.
I say that. It's me and other fucking disgusting people in there.
Yeah, talk about Russia.
Yeah. No, yeah, talking about Russia. I had an interaction in the sauna where I don't know why. I'm just no good at socializing. It's bizarre that I've found a career, a failing career, mind you, a dying career, talking for a living, because I have no social skills. I'm sitting in the sauna. There's other people talking about that Brooklyn Tower. And what
happened?
I don't know. Two guys are talking in the sauna about the Brooklyn Tower. They say, "Oh, it's a beautiful building," or it's an ugly building. Everyone hates it. And I go, "I think it looks kind of nice." And then the guy says, "Really?" Because that's the first time I've ever heard that. Everybody thinks
the one by the bridge.
By the bridge, the Brooklyn
It's disgusting.
Tower. I say, I think it looks kind of nice for a superstructure. I mean, it's the best. That's as good as it's going to get. And they go, "Really?" Everybody thinks it's ugly. And I go, "Oh, okay." And then they continue their conversation, and I kind of sit there in silence, nude, covered in sweat.
Yes, you should have fought. You should have fought for your point of view.
Yeah, I should have stormed out.
You should have yelled at them.
I should have burned.
By the way, that was a very normal interaction.
Just walk up and put my genitals in the sauna heater.
I was imagining that was going to be much worse, but you looked fine there.
Yeah, okay.
Just offered an opinion.
I felt like such an asshole. I was like, why? Nobody cares what I think. Like, I'm going to come in and be like, no, it's actually, I don't even care about the building.
Right.
But I think you look at the ones around Central Park, they
suck too.
They're an abomination. Whereas
suck.
They're at least trying something with the Brooklyn Tower. The failure of the Brooklyn Tower is that they put it in Brooklyn.
Right.
If that had been in the financial district, maybe it makes a little more sense. Certainly more than the Jenga building or like.
Well, the Jenga building is again an abomination, but one that people like. The thing in New York is every time something goes up, everyone hates it. 10 years later, they'll go, "We love it."
Nobody's done that though, and I think the Brooklyn Tower is going to be the first one. You give it a little bit of time, because there's all these financial problems with it.
Yeah, but everyone hates everything when it's built, even the good ones.
These are not things you have to worry about if you're wearing Twillery clothes.
No,
and that's one of my favorite things about. And host speaks about their favorite things about Twillery clothing. That's one of my favorite things about it.
Yes,
is you feel like you're in the penthouse at the Brooklyn Tower.
Yes,
urinating on whoever's going to Junior's
who's ever
cheesecake.
Who's ever been paid.
Anybody going to the new Paramount Theater in Brooklyn, which
beautiful.
Is that what it's called?
No idea.
They got a new theater in Brooklyn. You should do it.
The Paramount Theater?
I think it's the Paramount. They just reopened.
Can
Brooklyn
we go
Theater.
do a show at like one of the bars we used to do a show at? I want to do a show at like Tandem in Bushwick.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to sell tickets, which I will be in Spokane at the Spokane.
You are everywhere you are sold out.
That's not true.
Well, I see a lot of them are sold out.
Okay. Spokane, Washington. I'll be at Spokane at the Spokane Comedy Club next weekend.
That'll sell.
Friday, Saturday. It is not.
Well, there's a lot of separatists.
I don't even know how to get there.
It's terrible.
I don't know. It's like I'm looking at 9
terrible.
Connecting flights.
It's the only town where you're in the Pacific Northwest and you go, "Oh, this is like it's not even pretty."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
I guess it's next to Idaho, which my understanding is that's just a place where like you like leave. You leave there to be gay somewhere.
Or if you're really smart, you stay there to be gay and a Nazi.
Oh, okay.
That's the move.
What the hell is Idaho?
Idaho's like an area that is kind of reserved for...
Real quick, too.
Yeah.
For my listeners exclusively, or Adam's listeners, rather, Twillery is offering $18 off. Sorry, this was in red. and we only have a monochrome printer, so I can't. I guess it's $18 off. It's either $18 or $818 off a minimum $139 purchase for new customers. Just use code Friedland18 at Twillery.com. That's Friedland18.
Yes.
For $18 off. What's that 18 stand for? $18 off. What's Friedland stand for? The name of the show, the Adam Friedland Show. Put that code in, and there you go.
There you go.
And Pete, let me know we're another 12 minutes have passed. Thank you. So I was going to say, you can finish your thing about.
Well, I was just going to say it's a lot of tech people live in Coeur d'Alene.
Neo-Nazis.
Neo-Nazis, tech people live in Coeur d'Alene, which is pretty. But it's just a lot of people off the grid.
Yeah, okay. Homesteaders, they call that.
Yeah.
But no, I saw.
It's pretty.
I came across a video on Twitter of a guy doing the DHS thing.
Oh, just trying to lure them in.
Well, they've already been lured in because he's like an with all the Israel stuff going on. There are guys that are like very far right that have just kind of they've elevated.
This is their time.
Well, yeah, because it's an easy in for them.
It's an easy in.
It's great. I was saying, like people say, you can't conflate anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism, but it's like, let's not pretend like the guys that aren't just anti-Semites
are a little Venn diagram.
Those guys are.
There's a little Venn diagram.
There has never been a better time to be alive.
This is their moment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
and they're prepared. And then there's one guy who's like, he's like former military or something, and then he's like. Some of the posts are like, like this is a genocide. I can't believe what's happening in Rafah. And the next one's like, the Jews that live down the street have been looking at my car.
Right.
It's like stuff like that. And he posted a video of like DHS and like, I don't know, FBI or something coming to his house. And the woman cuts him off. It's a long video. I only watched like the first 5 minutes of it. She's like, well, I just want to let you know I'm coming down from DHS. I'm actually higher up. And I want to let you know because they're telling me. And she's mediating this dispute between him and literally the Jews.
Right. Well, that's a nice thing.
Yeah, the Jews in his neighborhood or like in the community that he lives in, because they're saying, oh, this guy's threatening us. And then so she's like, but I looked online and there's a lot of threatening going back and forth. And so this woman's job is to mediate this dispute between these, like, I don't know, this retarded group of rabbis and then this guy who's like fucking just saying shit on Twitter. Yeah. And it's like, this is a daycare counselor's job.
Well, it's like there's this kid, a bunch of kids got captured in Africa because one of the kids' dads was this African guy who wanted to overthrow the Congolese government. Mm-hmm. So he got a bunch of his son's friends down there, and he literally said, we're going to do this. They didn't know. Uh-huh. And he got shot. They shot this guy in the head immediately. They just shot the dad in the head.
Yeah.
And then his kid and the other kids just went through in like a Congolese prison, and then they were talking to these two lesbians who were the mothers of one of these kids. And they're like, it's terrible not hearing from him, but they're like, we're in contact with the State Department. And it's like, it's their job to like look after Americans. So I'm sure they're like doing everything they can. And it's like, that's not their job.
Yeah.
It's like, that's absolutely not their job.
No, the State Department.
And it's like the list of priorities, like your kid locked up in an African prison is the lowest.
It's the low. We can't get anybody back from anywhere. No. Like, we have no ability to fucking do
we
it
have we have no leverage. We have nothing. But it was funny the way they go, yeah, well, the State Department, this is their job.
Yeah.
This is what they do. You go over for a summer job and you try to overthrow a government as, you're confused and you go to jail. The State Department gets you back.
No, the State Department has to to trade. Like we have to have something to trade and we don't have any. We don't have any.
Nothing.
We have nobody. We have no prison.
Nothing.
We got guys that were in Al Qaeda 35 years ago.
Right, that we've tortured insane.
Yeah, right.
And then the ones we haven't tortured, like, there's two types of those guys. They're still there in Gitmo.
Yeah.
Some of them have best-selling books. We won't even let them out. They're like best-selling authors, and we are still like torturing them.
Yeah.
We won't even let them out. They've been at the top of the New York Times bestseller list. It's a strange phenomenon.
Yeah. One of them's Rami.
One of them is Rami. The show Rami is about that.
Rami lives in Gitmo. A lot of people, they let him out to do SNL. They let him out
to win Emmys.
Yeah.
And then he goes back.
I haven't watched that show. Is it good?
I saw an episode. It was good. I don't watch many things, so I don't stick with a lot.
I feel like
I just don't. Here's the other thing. It's like I can't
watch any of the comedian stuff because it feels like they all make the same show. And then it's
a lot of his show's about like I'm a young Muslim figuring it out. That's not a genre that appeals to me.
But he's he's a Muslim comedian.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not his fault. I mean, it's a great show for a million people.
Yeah.
That love it. I just that's not I don't like a lot of things. So
yeah. I also can't watch stuff. I don't know if they shoot it here, but I can't watch stuff that's like just all shot in New York, especially if it's shot in Brooklyn.
That's the other thing. I don't,
because it's like this looks like it was done for free.
No,
this looks like it's my friend's apartment. I don't.
Yeah, no, people love it. It's I like such specific,
Yeah.
I watch house flipping shows that are not even the good ones. These are not even the ones people know about. These have no budget. And it's always like a fat Persian woman and her gay husband or whatever. And they just walk around like Vegas and they find these disgusting homes that are never going to be worth anything. I don't even watch anything good. Nothing I watch is good.
There hasn't been a show I've really been into in a while. I still just watch Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction all the time.
Yeah, there's so many iterations of all this crap.
Yeah.
Like the flipping shows went so crazy that they have shows where they're like triple digit flip. And it's like it's not even a show. It's like the lowest quality. The people suck. Everything about it sucks. And I'm just fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by how bad it is.
Yeah.
And I just stare at it.
That's what I'm saying, man. I think the new form of entertainment is baiting federal law enforcement agencies into having an hour-long conversation.
It's absolutely not the worst idea.
Every week. And then you try to get a different... Like, I'm just going to do a tweet like, man, there's nothing I love more than opening other people's mail.
Right.
And then just get the get the postal inspector out.
Or get just Rogan tweets, how about
they're outside, they got the clipboard, the Patagonia vest on, and I'm like, let's pod, dude.
Rogan's like, how about we do January 6th? And there's just 3 people sitting there. He's like, thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
We're all just nodding. It's 3 hours.
Yeah.
They're all using the bath. Every hour and a half, like DHS has to use the bathroom and come back.
Like, I tell you, there's not a more satisfying sip in the world than a glass of raw milk you just transported across state lines. And then just get the FDA guys out. Well, gentlemen. Care to talk about the Jews? Yeah.
Let's put some time on the clock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What other departments?
ATF.
But the ATF seems like that's because the ATF, they're the reason.
Yeah.
That like fucking Vegas.
Yeah. Paddock.
The ATF is the reason. The ATF basically, they kind of, I'm completely shooting from the hip, and I've barely researched this or looked into it.
But this is the way to do it.
It feels like they work more for the NRA than they do for
definitely.
Because what the ATF does is they set definitions of stuff. So the reason you can do all this, you can print your own guns and all this shit, is because what is classified as a firearm is like a very specific piece of the gun.
It's also interesting to regulate guns in a country where there is the belief that everyone needs one.
Yeah.
So it's a strange, what are you even doing?
Well, it's also, as soon as you can print something at home, trying to regulate it is ridiculous.
Silly.
You know, I mean, it's like, we're on the honor system here.
Yeah.
And crypto kind of works the same way.
That's right.
It's like, it's to the same degree, you can't have a gun in the same way that you're supposed to pay taxes on, like, crypto trading.
Sure.
You know, which it's like.
On your transaction.
Maybe you'll get me when I finally use either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can amass all this crypto wealth that is untaxable, but the second I try to actually use it for something, then you can fuck me in my ass. Same way I can build this entire arsenal of weapons.
Yeah.
You have no idea about it.
That's always how it's been. That's how everything's been.
Until I shoot up, I destroy, I
until
go to war.
You go at people, then it's
which that's illegal one way or the other. It's not like murder is going to be legal at any point.
Not for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Maybe inventing some sort of like.
Did you see the woman I had on my podcast, Noah Tishby, the Israeli lady who's out there, speaking of the. I had her on. She was
with RFK, hopefully.
Everyone hated her. Yeah, well, she's just like she was an actress.
The cacophony of those two, that accent and his voice.
Right. So she's she had this new explanation for because I knew she had to come out for the Rafa thing, which is there's nothing better than watching someone who has to go. All right, listen. She goes, listen, we got to talk about this thing.
Yeah,
that happened. We gotta. I'll address this. horrific massacre. And her whole point was that like Hamas had a weapon stockpile that just blew up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really an Israeli strike.
Yeah.
It was just a weapon stockpile that blew up. She goes, listen, we'll talk about this. You want to discuss this? You want to talk about it? Sure. I'll tell you what it is. Hamas had weapons and they blew up. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is a fun thing to watch somebody do.
Yeah, right.
Because no matter what a war is, everything, like, you got to do horrible shit.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than having someone come out with a straight face and go, hey,
right.
I know you don't like this.
But it's also like with the immediate follow-up is like, okay, so let's say it wasn't that. Let's say they just bombed the refugee camp and set 40 people on fire.
Yeah.
Would that be wrong? and then they'll go, no.
Yeah.
So
she goes, so whichever way you want to believe this happened,
right?
Whichever thing you like, whether it was just a weapon stockpile that exploded in the middle of the night,
yeah, right,
or it was a midair cleansing.
The thing to me, the point I'm at is because I'll just the clips that I will seek out and watch are the ones where you either get the Pentagon spokesperson who now seems to be doing. What's her name? Janine Jean-Jacques.
The White House press secretary.
Jean-Pierre. Jean-Luc Picard.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever the fuck
Jean-Luc. Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Her stupid French Canadian name.
Yeah.
And that which probably that's the worst thing colonialism has ever done.
Yeah.
Is that woman's
Giving
name.
black people French names.
Yeah, right.
This is a Jean-Luc?
Yeah, right. Anyways, so, like, it seems like John Kirby just does half her job now.
Yeah.
But all of these things are I don't know who the other guy is, that kind of effete, kind of like porky Indian man.
Yes.
Who's like...
They roll him out every now and then.
Yeah, he seems to be like the most on point.
He's pretty good.
That guy's better at communicating than the rest of them.
Yeah.
But... watching like I don't even know why we're even pretending anymore.
Right.
Why these reporters are sitting there being like, so they're putting people on trains and taking them to a place called Auschwitz II Electric Boogaloo. That's the name of the camp. It's on the sign, and it says, make no mistake, this is a concentration camp where we're gassing people to death, and we're gassing children here. Does that cross the red line? And then they go, that's a disingenuous question. I mean, it's like, first of all, the president never said the line was red. Right. Okay. And we got to figure out, we've done, I mean, now we're at the point, because it was like, I think, like, we're funding this. We're paying for this. We're sending those weapons. It's because the military-industrial complex controls everything, and Israel is the greatest money laundering operation they've ever been handed, ever. Right? So that's what drives this.
And we don't want gay people to be treated poorly.
Oh, right. Yeah,
that's the main.
That's right.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, we're saving them.
That's the main.
Yeah. Anyways, you would think that like, okay, well, that's why all of this is happening. But then you have fucking John Kirby go on the TV and defend the Rafah thing by saying like, we sure did a hell of a lot worse in Iraq and Afghanistan. Right. So now you're throwing the United States under the bus.
Yeah.
To defend this. Now it's like, so you won't admit that this is bad, but you'll say, America, if you got a problem with this, you should see how shitty I am.
Yeah.
It's like, how I am. Like, wow,
You've seen the babies' heads from Fallujah, those birth defects? Right. They're like footballs.
Yeah. And it's like, well, what is the point of this then? Yeah. Because now it's not like, now you're not defending even this whole idea of Western-based, rules-based order.
Nothing.
It's specifically just this thing here, and we'll at the expense of everything else, the integrity of everything else, just this thing. And it's like, what the fuck is going on?
No, he's like, we turned hoses on people trying to get into schools.
But then, I don't understand why journalists are even participating in this. It's like it's palpable how frustrated they are.
They're making how they get a check.
And the flip side of it is you still to this day, you'll have fucking what's his name? The fucking Fox News guy. What? No, what's his fucking name? The guy's son, Ducey. The younger Ducey.
I haven't seen the younger one.
They'll all sit there and they'll ask questions about Gaza, and then he'll be like, is President Biden gay? Like, say no if deny it. Yeah. Say because he thinks it's gross. Or like just do his like trick question thing about. He'll be talking about Hunter Biden still. And is that maybe because I'm checked out? I live in a very tiny world where I Google very specific things and look at them. Yeah. Do people still care about Hunter Biden?
No.
It seems like that went.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I appreciate that.
I care about Hunter Biden because he's a fun, kind of a fun guy. Lives in Malibu. Mm-hmm. Seems to be is an artist. Probably had a tough life.
Yeah.
But
it didn't amount to anything.
No, he's just kind of like everyone else in California.
Yeah.
He's just flailing.
Uh-huh. Well,
with higher stakes.
What's next for Rafa? They should just drive a monster truck through it. Let's see. If it was me, I would see like.
Well, yeah. I mean, at this point, just see how far you can go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Today's episode is also brought to you by RidgeWallet.com.
Wow.
This one I do off the dome. Do you work with Ridge?
Not for a while.
Not for a while.
Yeah.
I email them. I'm like, they're friendly.
I love the people at Ridge and the wallet itself. Yeah. I haven't had the good fortune of being able to share it with people in
It's funny because even these reads, like all these other companies you work with, it's a formal process. They call, they're like, please say it this way and do this. Ridge, every once in a while, I'll just email the guy. I'll be like, hey, you want reads? He's like, yeah, fuck it. Just here's the money.
Ridge is just like, we'll send them to you. Just put them in people's pockets.
He's like, just do whatever you want.
Just stuff them in pants.
They're so far beyond needing like podcast help. Like, they've really cornered the market.
Well, it's a good hard wallet.
It's a great wallet. I have the Ridge wallet. I don't have it on me. It's sitting in the office back there.
Smart.
Yeah, because I just I had to go. I had too many. I got my new SAG-AFTRA card. And I got too much. I got too much stuff in this wallet.
Of course.
Right before we started this, I was back there deciding, what do I want to do? I need to keep my Barnes & Noble membership card in my wallet. Now, the thing is, I could keep all of them, but then I feel like I look like an idiot when I have too many.
No, you got to get rid of some of it.
Yeah.
Some of it's got to go.
So, yeah, I just updated the card. Ridge, it's not just wallets. The name is Ridge Wallet. They started with the wallet, but they've got all sorts of everyday carry stuff. They have a knife. They have key holders. They have now backpacks and luggage. The luggage thing is the big thing. I got to email that guy and pester him because I want some of that luggage for free.
There's nothing better than the Ridge luggage.
Yeah.
It's durable.
It's durable, and then if you're kind of like a freak, I'm never going to say the word autism again. That's the last time you'll ever hear me say it.
Okay.
Because now I feel like it's just,
It's way out there.
Yeah. People are like fucking going.
Autism is the new woke.
They're like, does anyone else feel that Hamas is kind of autistic? It's like, what?
Guys, yeah. It's like, it's too much.
Let's stop. Let's stop with the autistic stuff. Yeah. But
that is who Ridge luggage is for.
Yes. They have these like.
A spade's a spade here.
They have these cubes, packing cubes. Yeah. So anything you need.
A packing cube.
A packing cube so you can put your luggage together and assemble all your stuff.
Smart.
I feel like the way things fall out of my pockets here is very cartoonish.
Yeah.
I feel like an idiot.
I thought that was the Ridge wallet.
Yeah, I know.
It was so heavy.
All right. Yeah.
So dense. Yeah. I haven't seen the luggage, but people like it.
The luggage is great. It's got nice colors that pair well with a certain cooler brand.
Okay.
Which famous cooler brand? Not Stanley. The other one. Yeti. I don't know if I can say that or not. But they look like they pair nicely. If you're a fan of the King Crab Orange, that's not what they call it at Ridge, but they have similar colors.
Where's Ridge based?
On top of a mountain, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Where is that?
In someone's
the top of Mount Shasta, and
in somebody's home gym, garage gym at the top of the mountain. A CrossFit box on the top of the mountain.
That's right. That's what I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I think somewhere in the Rockies. That makes sense to me, but only because there's a mountain on the logo.
It's interesting to move into luggage. It makes sense to go like people's luggage.
Well, they had a backpack, and I still use the backpack.
Yeah.
The backpack's great.
It's tough.
Yeah. It's only just now after having it for, I don't know, 5 years?
It's starting to wear a little.
I ripped one of the little zipper.
That's after 5 years of using it in fights and
throwing
it down the stairs,
around,
dragging it in Times Square.
Right, pulling it out of the hands of the Biden staffer that was trying to steal it at the luggage carousel.
Karine Jean-Luc Picard.
Karine,
Jean-Bion.
Karine, French gourmet.
Yeah.
Anyways, check out ridge.com. Use promo code TAFS, and I don't know what that gets you. Free shipping, 10% off something. There's some kind of deal. Use promo code TAFS at ridge.com just in time for Father's Day, which is coming up. Makes a great gift for your dad. Get him luggage for his last trip. His final trip before he dies.
This is the final trip he's making.
It's the last trip. Get your dad.
He's going to Toronto one more time.
Yeah. Can you imagine if that was your father's dream?
It was your father's dream.
It's like, you know how people bring their dad to like Ireland or Italy? It's like, well,
Toronto.
my dad's grandma was from Canada, and he's just never been able to. We're taking him on the family trip to his ancestral homeland of Toronto.
He's going up. We hear there's some good Italian food.
Yeah.
And, he loves buildings.
Yeah, right. He loves he loves clean streets and
new modern build. He likes buildings built in 2012.
He really tried to get into his Toronto roots, so he's been playing The Sims 4.
Yeah. What an ugly city that thing is.
Yeah, it really is. Like,
pointless.
I thought it was just Toronto.
Great audiences, but
I've toured all of Canada, and it's like this entire country is just like leftovers. You know
it's
what I mean?
leftovers. It's something off.
It's a casserole type of, like, if America is the melting pot in the way that like it's an expensive, overpriced fondue restaurant, then that is just a casserole. It's just a generic. They put put everything left over into a food processor, and you just get this disgusting
kind of sludge.
Yeah, kind of just everything's mixed together, but in a way where it remains discreet and incompatible.
The only sense of nationalism is goofy.
Yeah.
Which is like ours sucks too, but it's like theirs is just silly.
Yeah.
It's like mousse and syrup and shit. It's just like a joke.
Yeah. I can't think of one. The biggest thing out of Canada in the last 10 years is Jordan Peterson.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Who's done irreparable harm. Who's just really, Can we blame countries for stuff like that? Because we can. Here's the thing.
Not.
We can blame countries that had nothing to do with 9/11 for 9/11. We did a 14-year war with a country that didn't do 9/11 for 9/11.
Yeah.
We should be able to bomb Canada because of Jordan Peterson.
That might be extreme.
Yeah.
But it could be. It should be on the table.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You should at least.
And that's where the State Department would answer it. He goes, "Of course.
Yeah. Right.
It's on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what we've done."
Yeah, it would be hilarious if there were videos of just Canadian children being melted.
Well,
John Kirby being like, "That's tough business." Okay, that's the way in business things are tough.
This is what happens. I don't like it.
It's not. It wouldn't be my first choice. No, of course not. Of course not. It wouldn't be my first choice, and I'd take offense to the question.
Yeah, I don't like that question.
Yeah,
Peter never loved the question.
Yeah, have you ever sucked a cock? Yes or no? No. I don't like. I don't like the way you're asking that. Okay.
That's tough.
Yes.
That is the way we would characterize. Like, that is the way he would perfectly.
I'm trying to figure out what
tough business.
Something's wrong with John Kirby, and I
don't know what
he's
did
like
before
he's like a reanamated doll.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know
why
what he reminds
he's
me of?
Out there.
Remember the Goosebumps book about the dummy?
Yes. He's the guy.
That's him.
Yeah.
He's that
R.L. Stein.
Yeah,
creates
he's that
John
Goosebumps
Kirby.
dummy. Is what that guy is.
I don't know why. I don't know what's going on over there that he's even up front for this. Like, I don't know who picked him.
Apparently, there's drama behind the scenes between him and Jean-Luc Picard. Because she's like, that's my job to go out there and do Obama mannerisms.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I love that, too, that some of the Democrats are still trying to do the Obama
Well, I also feel like John
mannerisms.
Kirby is finding out what's going on in real time. Like, I don't feel like anyone tells him.
Yeah.
I feel like he's not.
I feel like he's using his face to try and hold his eyeballs into his head.
Right. I feel like nobody gives him nobody gives him the talking points before he goes out. He's just kind of like
yeah. And
he's got to react in real time to the horrors that Israel's committed.
He's doing fucking W's mannerisms.
Yeah.
That's how long he's been around. That he's like it's just That's tough cookies, 40 children beheaded, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
It's the cost of doing business.
Sir, you like cookies?
Yeah.
Now you're going to say, just because a cookie crumbles, we're going to say we're not going to eat cookies anymore? I mean, come on. And I haven't forgotten what Hamas did on October 7th.
Yeah.
That's the important thing to remember.
That's the meaningful question.
It's like, sir, you fucked my wife.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, are we going to talk about October 7th? Because that seems more important than anything I may have fucked or not fucked to your wife, which not saying we did.
They were kids at a music festival.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. No, I because he was an Obama administration guy. He wasn't like a W administration.
No, he's just there. He's a guy that he lives in the pipes. And they bring him out, and he doesn't quite know why he's doing this.
Yeah.
It's a very undignified job to deal with the press. Yeah. It's not a track like anyone really wants. It's just a launching pad to like get a job on Fox News or any of these places.
Yeah, right.
It's all it is, right?
Yeah.
It's nobody wants it. It's like half the time you're getting just roasted in front of everyone. Like they pick you out. All these guys shit on you. You look like an idiot all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a tough gig unless you want to go right from that to like, and no one's hiring John Kirby. Like no one. There's never going to be like the
John Kirby show.
Yeah, late night tonight. It's like, the news hour with John Kirby. No one's going to hire him.
Right.
So he knows that he's just going to die after this.
Yeah.
He's just kind of being, he's like a fool.
But he's not press secretary. He's like the Pentagon spokesperson.
No, which is worse.
Yeah,
because
right.
what the Pentagon spokesman's job is to come out and then like figure out like some reason, like he's
which
like.
seems like, it's a losing proposition.
It's a losing
all
proposition.
Of them, but the Pentagon one is the worst.
No, the Pentagon's the worst because he's got the whole national security apparatus
that he has to answer for.
What everybody's doing at all times.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
And no one cares about letting him know.
But he's particularly bad at it because he'll like feign like pathos sometimes.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, just don't do that. I don't understand why
you desperately need like someone who is that's had their soul surgically taken out of their body.
Yeah. It makes you kind of miss those just evil.
No, you need
neocons.
You need an evil guy like a Paul Wolfowitz or any of those guys who used to just go, listen.
Fuck him.
Fuck him. Listen. Burn Richard Pearl, remember those guys?
Yeah.
They'd go, it seems like you guys just burned everyone in Mosul. He'd go, and you know what?
They died faster than they would have if they had starved.
Yeah,
so
and it's like
those are your options.
You want. I just almost fell back. That would have been a great moment.
Yeah,
had I said something about Richard Pearl and then died.
You're down, so we turn the cameras down. You're
Richard
in a
Pearl
sweatshop.
Just drags me to hell. He just grabs he grabs my face.
Right,
that's the end of the episode. It's Paul Wolfowitz and Richard Pearl just grabbed me to hell, and I sucked them both off.
Yeah,
but the thing about these Jewish neocons, but it's it's weird now because feigning humanity is such a they're incapable of doing it.
A mashup of John Kirby responding to the Rafah thing.
Oh yeah,
and then also him like pretending to get choked up over Ukraine. He's like, He's like, when you see some of these images, and that's my favorite thing because it's like,
is this water I can drink?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard for actors to even do that, but you're not an actor. You're an evil person, part of an evil empire.
That's right.
And we can see you're not crying.
No, you're Darth Vader.
We can see.
If you were better, you'd be Darth Vader.
There's no tears coming out of your face.
There's no tears in his body.
Yeah, right.
This is a guy.
Yeah, he's covered in spiders under his suit, and they've desiccated him.
Yeah, John Kirby's like big regret in his life is that he's not like in the genocide room.
Yeah.
But he's like on the outside of it, like having the chat about it.
Yeah. He wants people to not know who he is. He wants to be the guy.
The whole point of those guys is people figure out what a monster you are after you've died.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing about the national security state. The whole thing was like, we got to deal with the media. When I'm on my deathbed,
the sad part
tell everyone I did it.
The sad part is, all of those guys could have just been beloved author Tom Clancy.
That's right.
Nobody hates.
Nobody hates Tom Clancy.
Because he was never in the military.
That's right.
Because he never held a government position.
That's right.
He was just some pardon me for saying it, but who liked military time.
That's right.
That's all he was.
And that's the best case scenario. And that's what he'll say. On his deathbed, John Kirby will look at some nurse or someone he just grew up and he goes, I could have been a who just liked this shit.
I could have just been a guy that liked 24 hours on a clock.
But I got involved and I had that job with Gerard Depardieu. And we had to go out, tell everybody why this Rafah thing works.
Yeah. Mr. Kirby, you shit yourself earlier in the day. Hey, that's none of your business. Okay? I'd find it hard to believe that none of you have shit your pants either. Next
you look at these young men in the Ukraine that are never going to get a chance to shit themselves.
Yeah, right. I saw a video of a Ukrainian man who sharded, and it. Gosh, sorry.
You know what's interesting? Because Ukraine, there's not one soldier that we will interview in the Ukraine. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
We won't get one of those people to even.
What happened?
Why is that? Is it because they're all kind of Nazis? Like, there's not one. You would think that we'd have like a microphone in front of one of them.
Yeah, right.
We don't really bring them out too often.
I think because it's like
it's always Zelensky. It's always a president.
It's truly a nightmare over there. I think the things that are happening on those battlefields are like. It's because
they're all just fucking corpses.
The other thing to keep in mind is they're all Russians.
That's
these are all. I mean, like
So it's just
some of them are Ukrainians, but it's like this is all a race of people that love dying. I mean, this is basically
they're into it.
These are human pit bulls.
Yes,
that are just. This is the biggest dog fight that's
in
ever
history.
Yeah. So I don't. They kind of like it. I would imagine they all like.
Me
dying.
and Sam Talent wanted to go to Russia for dinner.
Even the weather's bad. That's the other thing too.
There's no reason to live.
You watch, you see the videos coming out of Gaza, and you're like, well, at least the beach is right.
No, it's hot. So they literally, the thing they'll say is that the weather's. They'll be like, it's 80 degrees and sunny in Gaza.
Yeah, where meanwhile Russia, it's just March constantly.
It's March. It's
muddy.
It feels like the sun's gonna come out and then it doesn't.
Yeah,
it goes up to and then just comes right back down.
Yeah, it's like it kind of all looks like the Halloween town from Nightmare Before. Before Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one nice place and it's where they send everybody to die. The Kremlin.
Yeah. What happened to? Because there was like Western people that went over there to fight. There was like one
RFK's kid.
Oh, really?
That kid Connor, who dated Taylor Swift, went to the Ukraine to fight with the Ukrainians.
There was a trans woman that went, and I can't
God
remember,
bless her.
I don't know if she died or not, but
well, by the way, I hope so, and it's just because it's easier to die there than to live here.
Yeah,
the thing she has to go through here. Better dying there.
Yeah,
better die as a hero.
There was a Texas guy that went to fight for Russia, and then the Russians ended up killing him.
That I like.
Yeah.
There was a family that went to live in Russia, some MAGA family that went to live in Russia, and then immediately they started like putting out videos about how bad it is, and then like the Russian government's like, no.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, what did you think was going to happen?
This is not.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we don't. This is not part of that.
Yeah.
This is not like America where you could like go on Facebook and like threaten to kill Nancy Pelosi. We take interest here.
Yeah, no, it's very funny seeing Khomeini like tweet like I stand with the college
kids,
and it's like you would think that they would be smarter to know that doesn't help,
right?
To have him tweet that.
Well, it's just I think for sure,
yeah.
But I think there is just a thing now of like you can imagine him saying that and smiling a little bit. There's got to be some like I think he just is like it's just chaos. So he's like, because they know nothing matters. Yeah. Guys like Khomeini know nothing really matters. Kids can bang pots and pans at UCLA. They know.
And why is he the supreme leader of Iran? Just because his name kind of sounds like the other guy's name and they look similar?
It's predominantly
that seems worse than like it's his son. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know why he's
It's also kind of self-racist.
Yes.
Where you're like, fuck, like Khomeini died. Who's going to be the... Oh, well, this is sort of the same.
This is similar.
This is sort of the same thing.
You don't really have to change a lot of the iconography and the government stuff.
We'll just say we'll just like do a glissandro over it, or whatever the word is in music.
Yeah, I don't know why he's the head.
Yeah. You know who I miss is Ahmadinejad. You remember him?
Yeah, of course.
He was the best.
He was the best.
And then what's he doing?
Where is he? So where does a guy like that go?
He's just chilling. I don't think
in Iran?
Yeah.
Interesting. Can they go anywhere else? Like if Ahmadinejad goes, you know what? I want to live in the south of France. Can that happen?
Well,
kinda, right?
The Ayatollah did. The
right?
Ayatollah lived in France in exile before the revolution.
Right. So can't Ahmadinejad go like, I want a place in Majorca, Spain or something? Or maybe not.
I don't know.
Maybe not, because he was axis of evil, but he's out.
Yeah.
Now he's out. So can he just go, I want to go, I like Portugal?
I would hope so.
Because that would be amazing.
I would hope so.
The president of Iran just at like a seaside town in Portugal.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm retired.
Yeah.
It's like everyone else. Like the idea of that.
It would be cool if he
retired.
It would be cool if he moved to Williamsburg and
It'd
was
be
like
amazing.
and talking on TV about talking about Williamsburg like it's 1998. Like he's like he's just really getting into the music scene in Williamsburg where all the new stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes it.
Yeah.
I like the idea of him being retired. I like the idea of these dictators finally like stepping away and just saying, you know what? Like I feel like Putin's never going to get that. He's never going to retire.
I don't think he has to.
I don't think he wants it. He's just built to keep going. He's like Rogan. They just keep going.
Yeah.
I love the idea of retiring.
Yeah. Well, now that things aren't going well for me, I'm wishing bad things for the world in general.
Well, number one, I think things are going well for you, but I also think you're going to get the second part.
Okay, good.
So I do think
it's all about perception.
Yeah, I do think that.
Yeah.
The second part's coming. So.
Yeah. Well, I just want to be like, well, I would have gotten a Netflix deal too, but you know,
if it wasn't for the nuclear war.
Well, the nuclear war happened.
The nuclear war happened.
Yes. I honestly, I swear to God, I swear to God, if Iran nuked LA tomorrow, I'd be like, phew. That gives me a lot of cover with the Reddit guys.
Yeah.
Now no one's going to think I'm a loser. 8 million people died. Phew.
Yeah.
You know, because now I look.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if it hadn't,
Netflix is a joke.
HBO was about to call me.
Right.
And then they got nuked.
By
Iran, who I like, by the way.
And then somebody would be like, what about, don't they have offices in New York? Go, listen.
Yeah.
It was a destabilizing event. The whole event.
I had left a voicemail with them saying I agree to the terms of deal. We did all of this over voicemail.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the machine was in LA.
It looked after the nuke, everything looked very different.
Yeah.
The whole climate.
Right.
It's very different.
And they said, look, we're only buying shows about nukes now.
Yeah. They wanted heavy national security stuff. I didn't have it.
Yeah. And I said I saw that coming, so I said I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus on whatever's
stepping
different.
Back. I took a step back. There's nothing better than telling your kids going, I took a step back after the nuclear war.
I took a step back and I decided to focus on antagonizing federal law enforcement. I figured that would be sort of my angle.
They understood it. They played along.
Yeah. I thought my own
took off.
Ruby Ridge style form of entertainment.
That might be next. It's like, what is next? It's like Ruby Ridge.
Hey, Nick. Hey, guys. This is Nick. This is my new YouTube channel, pointing laser pointers at aircraft. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah. We're just teaching everyone how to do it.
Yeah. We got
if you guys want to come and have a word with me.
We got a high-powered laser here. This is actually, I disassembled 15 microwaves, and I've turned them into a focused energy device to destroy the navigation systems of news helicopters. And we're going to try it out. We're going to see what happens.
The idea of them coming in without even talking to you, just putting on headphones.
Yeah,
they just know what's happening. They just come to
they have to come podcast with me. Welcome to the show. You're Special Agent Harrison.
Yeah,
and you're with the New Jersey. Oh, you're with the Brooklyn office.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. You grow up there?
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's a prestigious spot to be in that office.
You know, they're all like on the way to you. They go, "Why do we keep doing this?"
Yeah,
and they go, "Well, it's the letter of the law.
Yeah,
we have to do it.
We have to interview."
And they're like, "It's not bad. It builds awareness. It gets the bureau actually likes it.
Yeah, right.
They rotate people." Yeah. In the beginning, the bureau thought it was a big waste of time. We had a few meetings. Yeah. Now they're understanding.
But then we have a whole set where there is like a fake door. It's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood where they have to knock on the door, and I'm like, "Come on in." Mr. Trolley, please bring the target letter from the U.S. Attorney's Office that I received this week. Little train comes by, and it's like, today's potential charges are inciting domestic terrorism and the transmission of interstate threats.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
It could catch.
Yeah.
Because there are people that have nothing to do.
Yeah.
And they're the ones they're putting in that van.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah.
They're sending people to you. And then every now and then you'll get a big one.
They get a Ford.
You'll get a John Kirby.
They get a Ford 500. It's
every now and then, like a John
yeah.
Kirby, they go, we're going to do a special one. And then John Kirby. It's an hour with John Kirby.
They send John Kirby.
And you go, what am I charged with this week? He goes, I don't even know.
That's theoretically possible, right? In the military, you can get busted down to doing some shit. You could get they could have John Kirby.
And that is what John Kirby's doing now. He's done something heinous.
Yeah.
Where they go, you're the spokesman.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, come on. And they go, yeah, you got to do this.
Right, yeah.
We're not explaining it.
He's like, hey, I hear you. But you can't keep sending pictures of guns to journalists you don't like, okay? That's not how we do things here in the United States of America. Yeah, that guy sucks. I just want to see his skin get sucked into an escalator. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
those guys
he's at risk of that. He'll be on an escalator. He has Christmas shopping with his family. Just a piece of his ankle gets caught. And it's just just the muscles and kind of. And he turns to his daughter. Tendons. And he's like, "You excited?" And she's fucking just terrified. And he's like, "Oh right, my skin. I have to go get my skin put back on at the doctor's."
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's absolutely a chance.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got anything you want to plug?
No.
Where are we at, by the way? Oh, yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, I have nothing to... I mean, you know, I do podcasts.
Yeah, podcast, Spokane. Check out my new project, Threatening.
Nashville, maybe? Come on to that.
Where are you doing in Nashville? Ryman. That's where they do the Grand Ole Pussy.
Grand KKK.
No, the Grand Ole Opry, isn't that?
You go, that's where the Grand Master of the KKK does.
Yeah. No, the Grand Ole Opry is.
That's more tickets than I'll sell, the Grand Ole Opry.
But that's at Ryman, right? That's what that is?
No. That's another venue, I believe, in Tennessee or Georgia.
Oh, okay. No, Tennessee, yeah.
Yeah, so that's another place.
I thought the Ryman was where they did. I thought Grand Ole Opry was a show.
The Ryman is like where Johnny Cash did something.
Man, I'm glad he's dead.
Thank God.
He might be one of the most overrated.
He'd be having lunch with John Kirby.
What's that?
He'd be with John Kirby right now.
Yeah, I'm
in the Pentagon cafeteria.
I'm doing a song in support of my friend John Kirby. I'm here for his birthday.
Yeah, but that's it. I have nothing there.
Okay. Well, yeah, Spokane. I guess that next weekend. Other than that, thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
I'll see you next
week. I enjoyed Adam not being... Adam, because it would have been such a...
We're splitting it up now. He does the premiums on Patreon.
Oh, interesting.
And I do the regulars. Yeah.
He does the premiums.
He does the premium podcast.
Gotcha.
And I do the regulars, yeah.
Okay, I like that.
We needed a break, I feel.
For sure. These are things that happen.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Mix it up a bit. You enjoyed him not being here.
Well, it was just I like him, but it was a nice surprise.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different vibe. Because we will have to continue podcasting at least until the lease is up.
Right, which is 2028.
It's not that bad. I got a 2-year lease, okay. but that's so I got another full year. I got 13 months. So
I got a year on my place in New York too.
Yeah,
the
studio over there.
You and Lewis came to.
Yeah, they asked me do you want to do a 5-year lease?
No, they're crazy with the leases. They never want it to end.
Yeah,
they never want anything to end.
It's like, what do you think?
Because commercial real estate now is in such trouble. They just if they have you, they go, why not 7-year? Like
right.
It's crazy now.
Yeah.
They go, you can't. We don't want you to ever leave.
Well, it's like I think all of these types of buildings too. What are they called? A Class C building?
No idea.
Class 3. There's all of this commercial real estate in Manhattan that's like just useless. Because
it's useless.
To get employees to come back to the office, you need it to be a newer building with like amenities.
It's like there's these weird warehouses where it's like an Israeli guy cutting diamonds, or it'll be like you go up and it's just like a furrier is like hidden in a... So these odd businesses that definitely die with the person who's doing them.
Speaking of which, and I know we're already done, but I want to talk about this too. Did you see that Guardian report about the former Mossad chief threatening the last ICC prosecutor, the ICJ prosecutor?
No, but that seems so out of character for him.
Well, I read the summary. I mean, it does seem, because like the whole presentation of the Mossad, really the most exposure we've had to the Mossad really is like Munich, the movie Munich, you know?
Right, it's supposed to, they shouldn't be threatening verbally.
You don't hear how they operate. Like
that's the whole
that's
point.
the reputation of the Mossad is stuff like this helicopter crash where it's like nobody's even gonna know.
No one knows.
It's gonna happen and you're not even gonna know, and you're gonna say that's their reputation. But then you read this thing and this guy's like coming out from behind like a broom closet. He's like, you know, like being like, I guess you don't want to make that report, do you? You know, to the ICC prosecutor, and it's like he's just being like an annoying, like he's like Sideshow Bob.
Well, that's
basically.
the future of all intelligence agencies. Will be just people who annoy.
But that's the history of intelligence. You forget about that. That like during World War II, it's just like World War II seems like this big dramatic thing. Really, it's kind of science's fault. Yeah. Because it seems very complicated, the idea of making an atomic bomb. Yes. But they managed that, and the seriousness and the intellect required to make the atomic bomb makes the rest of the war, the whole other thing, seem like this very like serious adult thing that happened.
Right.
But really it was just, the science thing that advanced humanity, and the rest of it is just a bunch of like...
And now we have the paraglider.
Yes.
So if you think about how far we've come, we've come from the atomic bomb to something that guys in Malibu do every Sunday.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I guess the only point is that like all of the what do they call it? Tradecraft or spying, all this OSS stuff.
Right.
It was just It was just like dorks, guys that weren't good at shooting guns.
Yeah.
And they had gone to Yale.
So
they're like, we're going to invent spying. And then what the spying amounted to is like, we're just going to help the Nazis get jobs after the war ends, and its natural conclusion.
They're just a headhunter for just to put Nazi scientists in good jobs.
Right. Yeah. And then the CIA spent like fucking another 30 years eating itself alive.
The CIA is like for guys who are in the military but are also closeted gay. Mm-hmm. So they're like, I will suck off people all over the world.
It used to be. That's what's crazy is like that's like a argument against homophobia is like, think about all the bad shit that happened just because you weren't allowed to be gay.
Right.
And that's what fucking Roy Cohn's job was to just be like, oh, you're gay? Well, you better fucking sign off on, all of this evil shit. And now they do the same thing with pedophiles, which I think we should keep that.
We should keep that in the box.
Right, yeah.
If we had just let John Kirby be gay.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for having me.
If John Kirby could be gay with a clone of himself, which I think is what he wants.
I would love that.
Is a guy named
Skinless Man.
A guy named Kirby John. And he's like the Luigi version of him. And then they share a bed. They have a sexless relationship.
And they still have to deal with the Haitian press secretary.
Yeah, right.
Somehow. They still have... Gerard Depardieu still plays a role in their life.
She's sort of like the landlord.
Because like the resentment he has towards her, the racial...
The two of them are like bananas.
Class.
They're bananas in pajamas.
They're fun.
And she's the landlord that
There's
comes
something
in,
good about it.
And she's fucking throwing their utensils and banana stuff all over the place. And they're like, get out of here.
Go.
Something like that, I guess.
Hopefully.
Well, I feel like I have brain damage. It's too late in the day to think.
Yes.
But thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Hopefully we do it again. I can't believe this is the first time you've even been here.
I know. We're always doing other people's things together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we've brought down a lot of podcast networks with our with our stuff.
Yeah, I got to have Lewis
A lot of our
too.
Special shows have tanked a lot of things.
I've made plans with Lewis for him to come through multiple times, and then
we've destroyed Sirius XM.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's Sirius doing now?
I don't know, but they should still offer us that show.
Yeah.
We should go back in now. Here's what would be great. We all go back in now after we've all done good, and they still say no.
I mean, because Howard Stern's still there, right?
He's still there, yeah.
And they still pay him $800 billion a year or whatever it is?
They pay him, he gets a quarter of all the weapons that go to Israel.
Yeah.
He gets all that money.
Yeah.
So 25% of the weapons buys to Israel go to him. That's their new deal that they've just made.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I just don't know how they afford that, because it's like, they don't even have
it's a stock scam. It's all fake. It's all rental cars.
But they don't have them in the rental cars anymore. Then
I don't know, because that was the fraud for the last 10 years. That was
the rental cars, but they're not.
Well, then I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then the trickery has reached another level.
Do they have their own central bank where they're just? I mean, I guess that's.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah,
the bank of Sirius XM.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, Tim. Spokane. If you don't mind. Thanks. Good night.